I live in Kalamazoo, and in Michigan, we like to do the little hand thing. So I live down here because our state is shaped like a hand. And so I am the Communications and Technology Director for JCI Michigan this year. If you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, I'm managing all of that with a team of members from across the state, and as well as all of our technology needs. So running meetings like this within the state organization as well. And I've been a JC for 10 years, and I am really excited to be able to share those experiences with all of you. So as we talk about the course for today, there's a few things that we're going to make sure that we cover for you. So it's always a good idea to kind of know up front, what exactly is it that we're going to be learning for the day? So during the course, we're going to talk about defining project management. We're going to name and define a project, set some goals, talk about the project planning process, talk about how we execute a project, look at identifying and developing partnerships, and then kind of finish up with the evaluation process. So for those of you familiar with the Project Management Guide, or PMG, formerly known as the Chairperson's Planning Guide, or CPG, this course kind of outlines a lot of that same content that's found in that guide. So at the end of this course, you're going to be capable of creating a project statement, defining your objectives, planning your action steps, identifying and targeting partners, and evaluating the project for its successes. So let's talk a little bit about what is a project. So does anybody have an idea about what is a project? And you're free to, you can unmute and share loud or put in the chat.
I think project is a group of people want to achieve certain purpose so that they can work together.
Okay.
This is my
Yeah, that's good. So we got a group of people coming together to achieve a common purpose. All right. Any other ideas about what a project is? Oh God, I'm seeing an impactful event, planning and implementing a program. So, yep, we've got some really good ideas going here about what a project is. So JCI defines a project in the JCI Impact course as the result of an intervention or action to change the current situation to an ideal future situation with a specific start and finish date and allocation of resources. So essentially, JCI is defining a project as something that we do to fix a problem. That really kind of brings it down to its core. So why do we need projects? Well, there's a few reasons. Projects help us clarify our objectives. They help us define activities. They're having a defined project really helps us to leverage and distribute resources. It allows us to delegate responsibility, to communicate actions, and most importantly, projects allow us to create impact. So next we're going to look at specifically what is project management. So project management is the process and activities of planning, organizing, motivating, and controlling resources, procedures, and protocols to achieve specific goals. So basically, it's all of the things that we need to manage in order to make sure that our project is successful. So why do we need project management? So a few of the benefits of project management are that it allows us to deliver maximum impact, to optimize our resources. It helps us avoid improvisation or scope creep. It helps us to focus the project team on the solution. Project management helps us achieve those goals that we've set and to be able to communicate the progress and any risks or changes. So as we look specifically at what project management is within JCI, it's going to be the process of discovering a community need through needs analysis, developing a project plan to address the need, engaging our partners, controlling the resources, and achieving that sustainable impact. So overall, project management within JCI is the process that allows us to take our idea from a concept all the way through the achievement of sustainable impact in the community. So do you think that based on what you knew about project management before we started the course and what we've talked about so far, do you agree with this definition of project management within JCI? And you can go ahead and put responses in the group chat here.
I think in my experience as JCI has a short year, we only have 1 year to do each project.
Mm-hmm.
It is not easy to, it's only easy to analyze the needs of the communities, but not develop a sustainable plan. You need 2 or 3 years to do so. So it is not easy for us to do a sustainable impact in 1 year project.
Okay. Yeah, it can definitely be difficult depending on the nature of the need to create that full impact within a year. But overall, I'm seeing that a lot of us are definitely agreeing with this being a good definition of project management within JCI. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Active Citizen Framework. And so this is one of the tools that JCI uses to guide members in running projects. Another tool that this course doesn't specifically mention, but that I mentioned at the beginning, is the Chairperson's Planning Guide or Project Management Guide, that PMG form that helps us kind of go step by step with our project plan. So let's take a look at the ACF, or Active Citizen Framework. So within the ACF, there is always going to start with an analysis. So just kind of a quick poll, how many of us have taken JCI impact training? I know that it's being retired right now, but it's been available for a few years. Okay, yep, awesome. I'm seeing a few of us have taken it. Great. So, so we know that that course really pushes us through the Active Citizen Framework. So we're going to start with that, analyzing the community need. Oh, that's awesome. So many of us have taken it. That course was so impactful to me, JCI Impact, that I actually took it 5 times. So, but yeah, so we start with analyzing our community need, and then we're going to, after we've drilled down through that why, we take a look at, okay, we figured out like what is the root cause of the problem. So now we're going to look at how do we fix that? What ideas do we have to make that positive change? So then we start into the action phase of the Active Citizen Framework. So this is where we're going to be formulating that plan. We're going to be taking a look at who are our potential partners, what actions need to be taken, and to just kind of get things in motion. Then we go into the full action. So we implement our plan, we run our project. And then when it's done, we measure the results. So we want to take a look at what worked, what didn't work. And then we evaluate and report. So, did we achieve our desired result? If not, what could we do better the next time, or what further actions need to be taken? And then we keep going back through that development and action phase until we get to the point where the evaluate and report says we have achieved the desired result. And so that active citizen framework gives us kind of this circular pattern that we can go through each time we're taking a look at what kind of projects should we be running, what kind of needs are in our community. Oh, thank you, Marco, for sharing the project management guide. Much appreciated. And so we look at traditional project management. It's a very similar model to the Active Citizen Framework. So we have our initiation phase, and this is where the needs analysis happens. So we want to understand why a project is needed and come up with our initial ideas to tackle the root cause. Then we go into the planning and design. So the formulation of our plan, what kind of solutions do we need to have here to resolve the root cause issue? Looking at the Active Citizen Framework, what do we need to work through in terms of planning and design, and who will we be working with? Who are our potential partners? Then we go into the executing phase. So this is where you run the project. Into the monitoring and controlling phase. So this is that post-project phase where you're looking at, what were the results and how did the project go? Are we on track? Are we meeting the objectives, or did we meet the objectives? And then into the closing phase where we see specifically, did we meet the overall objective, or do we need to go back to planning and design and continue through? So it's important to remember, though, that not every project that we run is going to include every one of these stages. So sometimes a project may terminate before its conclusion, and some will continually repeat that planning and design, executing, monitoring, controlling multiple times before they get to the closing phase. All right. So are there any questions up to this point? I want to make sure we pause a moment for that. All right, nope, I'm seeing no questions. Awesome. So again, just a reminder, if you do have questions along the way, feel free to pop them in. So next, we're going to move into the second module here, and we're going to talk about defining our project. So I am going to add a file into the chat here on the participants manual. So if you haven't downloaded it already from the skills development library on jci.cc, you can get it right here from the chat. And let's see. There is a project handout, and I apologize, I should have had this prepped before. It'll take just a moment and I'll have that available for you. Okay, so you should also see the handout file popping into the chat here. And on this, there's going to be 3 pages in the document. And the first page is going to give you the root cause information as we look at a project. So has everyone been able to get that file downloaded? Okay, awesome. Starting to see some yeses there. Okay, so we're going to break into teams of about 4 or 5, and I'm going to move you into breakout rooms for this. And so as we go into the breakout rooms, you're going to pick a community need from the handout. And that is what you're going to be using to develop a project throughout the course to address that need. So in this initial breakout, you're going to take, we're going to take about 5 minutes, and you're going to talk through the different root causes and make a decision about which one you're going to address as your project. And then at a high level, start talking a little bit about what you want to achieve and what the young people are going to reach. So I'm going to get you all ready for the breakout rooms here. It'll take just a moment. Let's see. Actually, I think, Neil, I'm going to need you to set up the breakout rooms. To take just another moment here, we'll have the breakout rooms going. So thanks everybody for your patience. And while we're waiting for those to get going, we will just talk through a little bit here on the project. So your team attended a JCI Impact and has identified a community need in your area as youth unemployment. In your team's country, there are 743,000 young people between the ages of 16 to 24 who remained unemployed in the last quarter. You surveyed 100 young unemployed people in your local area and discovered that they are finding it difficult to secure a full-time permanent job for various reasons. So some of the reasons that were found as they did the analysis were that the young folks kept failing interviews because they had a lack of social skills, such as communication, negotiation, and conflict management, rather than just relying on their academic achievements. They didn't have a CV or curriculum vitae, a summary of their education and work experience. They had no experience or a lack of apprentice roles that were available to gain skills. There was increased competition for jobs and being turned down due to older, more experienced applicants. Education and training did not match job vacancies. So there were too many who were trained for the trades or beauty therapy when the jobs were actually in tourism and offices. They had a limited knowledge of different jobs and did not understand what their potential was. And so in our team, then we'll be picking one of those reasons. So it looks like we're going to get those breakout rooms going out here in just one moment.
Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get the breakout rooms up and running, but for some reason it's causing me a little. I can't find the breakout rooms that are normally on the bottom. So I'm just going into our settings just to double check to say that I haven't done anything silly, which I haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to hand it over to Anna and make her the host and see then if Anna can see it on the bottom. Okay, so sorry about that. Anna, do you see it okay?
Oh, yep, now I've got breakout rooms.
Great, hooray! Woo! I hope everyone's enjoying the training so far. It's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we're going to head into our rooms and
that's the spirit. We'll have fun in your breakout rooms. Yep. Don't forget, everyone needs to participate in order to get the credit. And where you're all experienced JCs, I recognise many of you from our other trainings. I'm sure that your breakout rooms are going to be incredibly productive.
Awesome. So we'll take about 5 minutes and in our breakouts and decide, which one of these root causes we're going to address. So we'll see y'all back here shortly.
See you soon. Have fun.